Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK Journey video. In this video we're going to be talking about the Supreme Arena defense formations I'm planning to use for this week. Today is Tuesday, but tomorrow Supreme Arena season is going to open. And I want to just show you what teams I've come up with for the new formations for this week. So I've taken a bit of inspiration from my testing I did in the previous week, and also taking a look at Splash, who is now Flower, our top ranking player of our district, what defenses he was running. So the first defense here, there are going to be hidden tiles on these two, the middle tile and then the tiles that Thorin and Haywin are on. You can try to take advantage of that. Now for the energy tiles in particular, it is difficult about which team you want to run here, but definitely I would recommend using a Lily May against these opponents, because Lily May is going to counter at least one of the immediate ultimates which the opponent is going to try to cast, giving you an advantage. Also, I've put Scarlita on the other energy tile because I don't actually want one of my heroes in that position. It's kind of a compromising position when I have my tank on this side. So she can get a free benefit of that, and it means that when she comes back, she is going to be able to cast her ultimate immediately and hopefully knock enemies off the field. We have Haywin Soul Pacted to Thorin. Now Thorin's ultimate is not really important, however it has some killing potential, especially if the opponent groups up a lot of their team over here. Because looking at my formation, if you ignore the Thorin and Haywin, they might suspect that my team is on this side, and then you could have access to their backline damage dealer with the Thorin over here. But importantly, we're soul pacting the Haywin, because the key win condition for this team is you need to have 3 surviving allies when Scarlita descends. So I need to have Thorin, Haywin, Lily May at least alive by the time Scarlita comes down so that she can deal true damage. Florabelle, I mean, in the position Florabelle is in, I think there's definitely a risk of her dying. Like, people could mark her with Sylvina Vala, people, they can't Rainier swap her because she's unaffected because of the Wilder buff top, but they could somehow try to kill her quickly. But I'm hoping like the shielding from the Wild buff tile would be enough for her to survive and also get off some of her summons and her ultimate maybe. Lily May is really the key thing. I'm counting on Lily May to deal a lot of damage and not die in this fight. And she's going to be the other one on the Wild buff tile. I need to have Haywin Soul Pacted to Thorin to protect her at all costs, because she is going to be like the key part of my team to keep my team alive for long enough for Scarlita. Now, I've gone for the Tide Call spell. Splash or Flower was using this artifact in the previous week of Supreme Arena, and I think it's a really good option. It might be better than the binding spell I was using on my Scarlita Stroll team, because after you cast enough ultimates, and especially on this map, you're going to be casting ultimates a little bit faster. You're going to have the entire enemy team is going to be debuffed. They're going to be receiving more damage, and they're going to be dealing less damage for 4 seconds. And I know 4 seconds is not a lot, but it could be enough. It could be exactly like the perfect timing to prevent the opponent's Scarlita from getting an insane combo off on your team. Also, it gives really good stats. Haste, HP, crit, these are all really valuable stats for my team. So I think overall I'm pretty happy with this team. I've thought about the placement, and I think the positioning is pretty good as it is right here. I could even go for a positioning like this. This would be protecting the Lily May more and letting the Florabelle die if she needs to, because the problem is Lily May, once she is done casting her Rainstorm Ballet, she's going to return back to this position, and it might not be the best for me for her to be like handling the enemy team. So I think I'm actually going to switch it to this positioning. Moving on to team number 2. Team number 2 is my Iron control team. For Scorching Furnace, I always think it's a good option to run a crowd control oriented team. I've switched it up a little bit. We have Granny in here as a tank for the front line, and Damien with his elite charms are going to give a damage reduction effect to the Granny to keep her alive for longer. The only form of healing in this team is Damien, which is pretty low healing, but anyway, your healing is reduced in effectiveness in the Scorching Furnace. So I'm not like really relying on Damien healing to win the fight for me. Instead, I'm trying to burst the opponents with the damage, just raw damage from Resonating Spell Arden and the Carolina on the buff tiles, and Iron from controlling the enemies at the beginning of the fight. So basically, I've removed Rowan. I was previously running Rowan on this team, and I've gone for Damien because I've switched around the team so that Damien can be moved off my stall team and moved onto this team. Because overall, Damien has more damage potential with the haste buff, I think, and some crowd control. Rowan also does by casting your ultimates faster, but I think Arden on his own with Resonating Spell and like crowd control from Iron, it is enough for him to charge up fast enough even without the Rowan. And then final team, I have my Mauler team. I am investing into two different factional trees. One is the Wilder faction, and you have seen the first two teams are going to be having the Wilder buff tile. The other one is the Mauler faction, where I'm also investing heavily. And it is because I think for Supreme Arena, at least based on the different heroes I have, this is going to be the best for me. I can run three really strong Maulers: Shakir, Coco, and Brutus. Brutus mainly to tank aggro at the beginning. And I have now on the hidden tiles Coco and Sylvina, which there's an advantage for Sylvina being on the hidden tiles. The opponent doesn't know that I have a Sylvina ready to jump on them here. I mean, they see the Vala, I'm running the Vala, and potentially I could even position like this, keep the Vala hidden as well. And that is actually not that bad of an option. But the Coco is more protected here. And like if the Coco can cast the damage reduction effect, that is a big advantage for your team. Also, if the opponent happens to put some hero here, they're going to take double damage from Vala and Sylvina if they don't position another hero here. Because I think the hero here would take the Vala mark. Sylvina will be jumping on the hero in this slot. So it is up to you whether you want to go for Vala in the hidden tile or the Coco in the hidden tile. I think both are good options. Actually, this might be even a little bit better because it gives then you could give the damage reduction and energy on hit effect to Shakir to cast his ultimate faster. I think I'm actually going to go with this lineup just to get advantage of the Coco elite charms as well, and also keep my Vala and Sylvina hidden. Okay, and we're going for Verdant Spell. They're basically 3 or 4 strong artifacts for Supreme Arena. Verdant, Resonating, Tide Call, and Binding. Binding has the control factor. The other ones have more damage potential and also tankiness. So I think Verdant Spell is great for this team. It will increase the damage for my rogue heroes, the penetration they have, and it will also give you haste buff to your supports like Coco. Really, the crucial thing for this team though is for Coco to cast her damage reduction. I might even put the Brutus here because then if they position a Vala here, I think Brutus is the one getting marked, not the Coco. So I want Brutus to take any Vala marks potentially. So that is why I think maybe this positioning is good. But then, yeah. I mean, there's always going to be some weaknesses. If they put a Sylvina here, I can jump on my Coco, but hopefully that won't be enough to kill her. Anyway, guys, that is pretty much going to be what I think are my optimal teams for Supreme Arena. I'm going to do testing, of course, throughout the week and see how they perform, but I'm pretty happy with these. I'm even happier with them this week compared to the previous week. The only key heroes that I'm not running that I would maybe like to incorporate are OD, Rowan. That is pretty much it. Other than that, I have all of my key heroes fielded, and really OD doesn't fit so well into this Mauler team. I think the other heroes we have are much more impactful, and the Coco damage reduction and also another tank as from Brutus is going to be better for this team. And Rowan, I mean, Rowan could be used here instead of the Damien. You could even go, like, honestly, you could get rid of the Granny. Yeah, you could get rid of the Granny and go for Rowan and Damien together. And that would be like the maximum damage potential. But I don't know, I thought maybe Granny could win me some fights just by tanking the front line for long enough. But, you know, it's very tempting to try with Rowan instead of Granny because, I don't know. It's a difficult decision. I'll have to do testing and fight into other opponent teams that I'm facing. I think both are really good options, and it's kind of up to you what you want to use. And you could even replace the Damien with Rowan here, for example, if you wanted Damien on another team. But I think overall, I'm very happy with these teams. And I think hopefully we'll be able to hold top 5 pretty safely with them. Now, as for the level cap is going to be 511. pretty much for this week. And for me, that means I'm probably going to be at the level cap from day one, because tomorrow is the start. We're already at resonating level 501. We should be able to get to 511 by tomorrow, and then from that point on, the additional levels will not make much of a difference in Supreme Arena. And even for people who maybe are a lower resonating level, like let's say you didn't buy the boosted levels of the noble path, then you're going to be behind. Maybe you're level 481, 491 resonating. It'll only take you a couple, 2 to 3 more days to get up to this level cap, and you should reach it before the end of this week. And what I'm expecting to happen is I'm thinking that every week we're going to get closer and closer to exceeding the level cap. Because if we take a look at the final text here, season levels beyond 800, only a minimal amount is added. I believe definitely once we reach level 800, that is going to be almost the official level cap. Like the level cap for this season. And then from that point on, every 20 levels will only give you 1 level boost in this seasonal content. So once we reach level 800, it's pretty much not going to increase anymore, like the levels that you'll have to keep up with for Supreme Arena and even Dream Realm. Because if we take a look at Dream Realm, the text is the same, that level 800 is going to be, for levels 800, beyond 801, only a minimal amount is added to the baseline level. So once you are reaching level 801, you're pretty much at the cap for this season. But anyway guys, that is going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Good luck in Supreme Arena this week, and you can definitely also use these defense formations. If you want some different like replacements for some heroes, it'll really depend on the heroes you have in your collection. You can replace Scarlita for Igor and make this like a stall, sort of Graveborn type stall team with a damage threat of both Floribel and Lily May. I think that would be fine. Like if I had to replace Scarlita, I would probably replace her in this team for Igor. And like we mentioned, some replacements for this team if you want. And even for the final team, you can go for a full Mauler team here with like Odie and Smokey, all 5 Maulers if you want to. But I think like this team that we have fielded is just going to be stronger, having the assassination threat of Sylvina and Vala. And Sylvina is actually going to be the prime carrier, because anyway she's being teleported into their team. Might as well give her like a buff of the shield and stuff. So I would prefer her to have the shield buff rather than Vala, because Vala is going to be in the back line, not really susceptible to dying. Sylvina is going to be focused, so she needs the shield more than Vala. Anyway guys, that is going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video, and I will keep you updated on the performance of the Supreme Arena defense. But until the next video, everyone, peace out for now, and thank you for watching.